All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Seattle Seahawks rookie Byron Murphy. And I tell you what, Murphy is a playmaker. He's a disruptor up front for the Seattle Seahawks. They got themselves a special player, and we've got a great set of clips to highlight everything he'll bring to the Seattle defense. As always, if you appreciate this content, give us a like, give us any comments with any feedback you might have. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, we're going to open up the run defense here from Murphy, and there he is right there, lined up in what I'm going to call a 3 technique here on the outside shoulder of the guard right there. This is the play that's been making the rounds on social media. It's a really nice play by Murphy and the Seattle Seahawks defense. So this is kind of a cool defensive structure here by McDonald. We're going to get Murphy and number 95 right here for Seattle. We're going to get them slanting to the defense's right, the left side of your screen. Murphy's going to work inside to this gap. 95 is going to work over here. 59 is going to jump this direction, and number 48 is going to jump this direction. The whole point here is to try and create chaos and disrupt this Los Angeles Chargers offensive line here, and they're trying to just run a standard zone scheme. So we're going to get zone block that way, zone block that way, zone block that way, zone block this way, and then backside cutoffs, right? Standard zone scheme. And right here, the Seattle Seahawks are going to do a great job trying to create some confusion, but it all stems on your guys inside making plays. And as much of a disruptive force as this is, it's a really smart play because when Murphy jumps inside this direction, the center picks him up. And Murphy very smartly doesn't do the thing a lot of young players do. He doesn't keep working inside to avoid the block. He decides to go through it with huge results. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the zone scheme up front from the Chargers offensive line working to their right. You can see the 2 interior defensive linemen jumping to their right, the left side of your screen right there. The linebackers running to the defense's left right there, the right side of your screen. You can see it's causing a lot of confusion, a lot of disruption. You get Murphy one-on-one on a center, caught a little flat-footed, and Murphy blows him up, makes a tackle, great form tackle, 2 or 3 yard loss. Phenomenal play, right? Incredible work here from Murphy, great sign. But here's what I really love. Right here. Look at that, how quickly he changed his direction. See how he goes laterally and then vertically in like half a second? Watch this. Bang, vertical. I mean, that is scary quick, folks. And getting into, and not only does he do that so quickly, he uses it with so much power. He gets into 64 and blows him up. So he literally goes 1 gap over at 0.1 second. 0.2 second, he's got his hands in 64, and 0.3 second, he shoved him back 2 yards. By 0.4, he's making the tackle for loss. He's big, he's strong, we all know that, but he is incredibly quick, folks. It is unbelievably how incredibly gifted Murphy is. He's going to be such a valuable piece of this Seahawks defense.
Yeah, Nick, and we see this play, we see what Murphy puts on tape. We're talking about elite athleticism. This guy made Bruce Feldman's freak list, number 18 on that list. He's been clocked at over 18 miles per hour on the GPS running at practice. This guy also one of the strongest guys on the team. 455-pound front squat, 375-pound power clean. This guy is an absolute freak, and I think we're seeing what he can do on tape here.
All right, next play here is more of a standard pass rush. There is Murphy right there. He's lined up in what we call a 2-eye technique on the inside eye of the guard right there. If he was on the outside shoulder of the guard, we'd call that a 3 technique. If he was on the outside shoulder of the center, we'd call that a 1 technique. But because he's on the inside shoulder, inside eye of the left guard, we call that a 2-eye. And here the Chargers, it's going to be a passing play for them. They're in pass protection where they're going to have the center, left guard, and left tackle take the gap to their left. So left tackle's working that gap, left guard's working that gap, center's working that gap. And we're going to get one-on-ones on the backside right here between the right guard and the right tackle. So all this means right here is that Murphy's going to get another one-on-one opportunity against 64, guy he blew up on the previous play. This time 64 sees him coming. He knows what's going on. No element of surprise. The first play was Murphy showing off incredible athleticism. Absolutely shocking number 64. This time 64 sees it coming. Murphy still blows through him. Incredible rep from the rookie. Let's check it out. All right, we get the snap. We can see the offensive line kind of slide to the left here. You can see the left guard. He's got his eyes already in the gap to his left, even though he's trying to help out on Murphy right there. And we get one-on-one on the backside. Let's watch Murphy there. He gets upfield. Sees number 64 engaging him. Here's how he chases contact because he understands instinctively, maybe he's coached this way, but I think it's pretty instinctive, that he's an interior defensive lineman. His role, number 1, is to get penetration in the pocket. Ideally, vertically right in the quarterback's lap, but if not, just find some way to get some depth destruction in the pocket, right? Make sure the quarterback can't step up. And right here, Murphy recognizes the center's coming to him, engages in him, and then walks him back into the quarterback. Quarterback can't step into the throw. I mean, look at this right here. Look at this quarterback. That's what it looks like right there. Oh, my goodness gracious. Number two, just can't even get into it. It's pretty ugly. Bad throw. Should have been picked off the deflection. Unfortunately, wasn't for the Seahawks defense. But I tell you what, Seattle fans, you're going to see a lot of turnovers because when you walk offensive linemen into the quarterback's lap, there's nothing the offense can do. They're done right here. Quarterback can't step in and throw. No chance for success. Best thing can happen here is an incomplete pass. You'll get a lot of sacks. You'll get fumbles. You'll get interceptions. Murphy is going to create so many turnovers for the Seattle Seahawks. It'll blow your mind because of his ability to use the bull rush and other pass rush moves. Let's take a look at it from the wide copy right here. You can see him right there. Watch him get off the ball, get into 64, and then literally push him into the quarterback's lap, completely blows him back. Again, on the first play, we saw him use a lot of athleticism. This is a lot of brute strength. Murphy is the complete and total package. Strength, athleticism, speed, quickness, talent, instincts. He's got it all, folks, and he's going to be a great defender for the Seattle Seahawks. All right, we got a running play right here. There's Murphy lined up. Again, I'm going to call that a 2Y because I think he's just inside the right guard right there. But this is a play for all the technique junkies out there. So we're going to get kind of an inside zone scheme. The right tackle is going to work up in base right there. We're going to get double teams right here working up to 48. We're going to get double teams right here working to cut off and get up to number 59. 84 is trying to cut off this direction. Running back's going to take the ball and try and find a way to get north and south. Naturally, it's going to occur kind of this way. But I want you guys to watch Murphy here. I think this is just really good technique, or at least what he's trying to do. So when you feel a double team gumming, what you're supposed to do is take the inside leg where the help is coming for the offense and drop that to the ground in a knee and get horizontal, right? The goal is just to not allow these two guys to get any movement. It creates kind of a mush here. It gets kind of awkward. You want to stay low and, again, drop that knee. Murphy does a phenomenal job of doing that right here. I think that's what he's trying to do. Shows a lot of smarts, shows a lot of really good technique. Let's check it out. All right, you get some motion. You get the snap. Again, you can see double teams coming. You can see tackle working out. You see double teams right here. I guess they have the tight end arcing here to try and hold the safety, and they're actually going to read the end man on the line of scrimmage. But again, let's focus on what Murphy does right here. See what happens when the moment he feels. See how he drops that knee right there? Let's watch that again. Feels a double team, drops the knee. Folks, I think that's coaching. I think that's just recognizing double team coming, drop the knee, stay low. And see how it just creates kind of an awkwardness right here? See how it's just kind of an ugly mess? No movement happens. None of these two guys can get on the linebacker. Just creates a lot of chaos at the point of attack. This is what technique does, right? Because right here, the offensive lineman, number 64, he doesn't know what to do, right? He's like, do I take you over? Do I come off? You're kind of on the ground. 73 is kind of like, what the heck? He's kind of twisted now. Do I move? What's going on here? And it just basically cuts off the entire right side of the Chargers offense. The running back kind of wants to work that way a little bit initially. He's forced to kind of keep it up the hash and to the left where all the help is. Ends up being a dead play for the Chargers offense. Great play for the Seahawks defense. And this is what technique does, right? A lot of defensive linemen, and we've seen them on other cut-ups, get blown out of here, right? They get just absolutely walloped. Murphy is strong, but he's got great technique. Drops that knee, gets horizontal, blows it up. Nice rep here from the young defensive tackle. All right, going back to the pass rush game where Murphy's going to absolutely be a game maker. There he is once again, lined up in what I'm calling a 2-eye technique. The Chargers are doing a slide protection to the right side of the offense, left side of the defense. Number 76 is taking that gap. 73 taking that gap. And my man, number 64, he's in another tough matchup right here against Murphy. And again, we're looking at one-on-one right here. And again, Murphy shows off his power. He works this way, gets some depth in the pocket, which I love to see make this quarterback's life miserable. He then tries to use a speed kind of technique to get more pressure. Doesn't do a bad job of it. Overall, he's got a little bit more to clean up here than I would like, but he still shows off a lot of potential, a lot of scary good athleticism. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see 73. He's kind of looking over inside to the gap to his right there. So it's basically one-on-one with 64. We know what's going to happen there. Murphy gets into him and then drives him back right there. Right there. What I want to see from Murphy in this situation, just keep pushing the pocket. Just keep pushing the pocket. You got him. He tries to do a swim move, ends up getting by him at the very end, but allows the quarterback to kind of step into the throw. I love the effort. I love the athleticism because guess what? The refs are going to see that sometimes. They'll draw a holding penalty. Maybe they'll get a deflection. But I tell you what, if you just work right here, instead of trying to do an arm over, do something that probably would have worked in college, just keep working using your bull rush into him. Just keep walking him back, and then quarterback can't step up into the pocket, ends up being a sack right here or maybe a turnover. Now, the good news, he still gets pressure and ends up being an interception and a huge play for the Seattle Seahawks defense. This is what's so great about Murphy, right? Because he can just be such a disruptor that even when it's not a perfect rep for him, even when there's some things where it's like, I really would not have preferred you use a speed move, a swim move at the end, just stick the bull rush. He's such a disruptor that he still helps generate pressure along with his buddies up front here. He's part of the crew right around to the quarterback, and it results in a turnover. And that's the exciting thing for Murphy, because when he does it perfectly, like we've seen, he destroys players and gets huge plays for the Seattle Seahawks defense. And even when there's stuff to clean up, he still does a nice job, still ends up being a big play for the defense. This Seattle Seahawks team's future is bright, and Murphy's going to be a huge part of it.
Yeah, Nick, and when we read Murphy's scouting report, we read what he does best. I think this line right here describes exactly what's happening on this play. It says, while his sack numbers aren't necessarily elite, his non-sack pressure numbers are. He forces double teams, allowing others to get his sacks, or in this case, his interceptions. And I think when we look at the numbers as well, it backs that up. Last season, Murphy, 6 sacks, pretty good, not absolutely world-beating, but 36 quarterback hurries as well. He is a force of nature in the hurry department, and I think eventually we're going to see those convert into sacks as well.
All right, we're going to go with a run defense here. There's Murphy right there, line up again, 2-eye. I'm going to call it a 2-eye because he's on the inside eye of the guard right there. And we can all see the Chargers are backed up, but the Seattle Seahawks are coming with an aggressive defense. Most of the time in this situation, you kind of play base stuff up front, not the Seattle Seahawks. What they're going to do is they're going to take Murphy and have him bounce outside and become a B-gap defender, and then they're going to fire 59 inside just like this. This is an aggressive defense because a lot of times in these situations, the offense is running kind of a quick hitter, right? They're just trying to get out of the end zone. And sometimes when you do these jump around blocks and you fire guys, the running back can sometimes get around, the defensive lineman gets pushed wide, and it ends up being a big hole, and you can give up a 98-yard run. It happens. We've seen it happen all the time. But when you have a guy who's a literal freak of nature like Murphy, who's able to jump around blocks, but still turn the corner, be impactful while helping out his buddy blow this play up, that's a really great sign for the Seattle Seahawks defense, and it allows you to be aggressive just like this. Let's check out how he does. All right, there's a snap. You can see how quickly he jumps around right there, and you can see because he's so fast, it forces both offensive linemen. They both have to pivot and turn their shoulders, and it basically allows 59 a free release right here and blows the play up. But here's what I really like on top of it. That's great work right here. If we freeze it right here, it'd be like, hey, good job. You did your job right there. But a lot of times what happens is the offensive linemen turn and they blow you up and wash you down the line of scrimmage, right? That's usually how it ends up going. You helped out your linebacker make a play. But let's watch what Murphy does here. He turns the corner and basically is part of the tackle himself. Draws a little holding penalty too. This is what's so incredible. This is where he comes into freak of nature kind of stuff. Because right here, hey, great athlete. You did your job. Good teammate, helped out your guy. But you still turn the corner, went from, again, this is where he's so incredible. He goes from straight up to horizontal in half a second, vertical again a half a second later, and then horizontal again a half a second later to be around the play. His bend, his athleticism, his quickness, paired with his size and strength is otherworldly, folks. He's going to be a disruptor for a very long time with the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Yeah, when we talk about Murphy coming out of college, definitely traditionally you talk about his pass rushing prowess, but I want to talk about this preseason game in particular. This is a guy who did really, really well as a run defender. I think we see it on this play. A 71 run defense for Murphy, very high, about 20 points over his pass rushing grade, but we all know that he's a savvy pass rusher. We all know that is going to come, but in this game in particular, I was very impressed by what he was able to do in his run defense, and I think his grade shows it. He did really, really strong stuff in this game versus the Chargers.
All right, pass rush situation. We're in a 2-minute defense kind of mode, and now's the time to have a lot of fun stuff. So here you have the Seattle Seahawks. They've got 3 guys on the offensive left, and there's Murphy right there. This time, I'm going to call that a wide 3 technique. You can call that a 4-eye, but either way, he's really offset the guard there. They also have a 2-eye right here, and they've got an outside edge rusher right here, right? So they've got 3 guys right there. Here's the third one right there on the offensive left, 1 guy on the right. Now, 99 times out of 100, the way this shakes out is you have the outside rushers do their outside thing, right? That's kind of expected. You have this guy right here loop around, and you have Murphy in this situation. He either takes this gap or he works into this gap, right? That's how it works 99 times out of 100. The Seattle Seahawks, they're so aggressive and they're so just next world thinking with this kind of stuff. What they do here is they actually have their outside rushers do their thing, right? Nothing strange there. But they have number 94 get vertical, then work this way, and then they have Murphy come around that way. I've never seen this before. This is a really clever design because this offensive lineman right here, number 64, and this offensive lineman right here, number 66, they're expecting 94 to go this way, right? That's what they're taught. They're not expecting 91 to come around later. It completely befuddles them. Murphy has a chance to make a big play. Let's check out how it does. All right, there's a snap. You can see 94 get vertical, and then you can see Murphy working vertical, but he then works around right there. He splits these two guys because you see 64 is late to react. 64 is kind of waiting for 94. He goes to him. He gets too committed. Murphy comes around, does a great job disguise. Right in position, right there, splits the guys. Here we go. End on a huge sack for Murphy. Great finish to the game. And can't quite finish it, right? Still a solid play, right? No penalties, no dumb penalties, pressure on the quarterback. Ends up being a sack overall, which you would expect because the pocket is totally collapsing. And again, shows off his athleticism, shows off his speed, playmaking ability. Kind of what we alluded to earlier, where sometimes his sack numbers aren't that great, but he helps generate so much for his teammates. I really need you to make this play because you are a future star, Byron Murphy. The film does not lie. It's 100% indicated. Just make a few more plays, just a couple more plays. And I think he will, right? Obviously, first preseason game, a lot of things to work out. But his athleticism, his quickness, his disguise, his deceptiveness, right here, he kind of slow plays it before it loops around, then gets north and south. And it's a really nice rep here from Byron Murphy. Just finish the play. Let's take a look at it from the wide copy right there. See the wide receiver coming in motion. Look at Murphy right there. You see how he staggered a little bit, gets up the field, loops around, just can't quite make the play. But I tell you what, Seahawks fans, he's got such a bright future. I mean, this was a phenomenal pickup by Seattle. Great move by Schneider and company. He's going to be such a game wrecker for McDonald's defense for years to come. And people in the NFC West are going to really come to fear the name Byron Murphy.